This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman as we end today's show in Haiti, where the death toll from the massive August 14th earthquake has passed 2,200, with thousands of survivors growing increasingly desperate. Over 12,000 were injured, estimated 53,000 homes destroyed by the 7.2 magnitude quake. People left homeless have been living in squalid camps in the mountains north of the hard-hit city of Les Cayes, where they say children are suffering from hunger, fevers, and infections.
We are here with our children. I don't know how many, but we need to feed them. We need food, water, dress. They are crying because they are hungry and thirsty. We need medication, and now we use this place as a shelter. Then we really need help to feed our children ourselves.
UNICEF says 1.2 million people were affected by the earthquake, including over 500,000 children. Humanitarian aid workers say shipments are now flowing into Haiti's southwestern peninsula, but there are still shortages of urgently needed food and medical supplies, as Haiti's also facing an economic crisis made worse by the pandemic. The assassination of President Jovenel Moïse July 7th has pushed the country into further political uncertainty. For more, we go to Haiti, where we're joined in Les Cayes, not far from the quake's epicenter, by Dr. Chery Marie Anne-Lise, a general practitioner. Her family's originally from Camp-Périn, where most of them lost their homes during the quake. And in Port-au-Prince, we're joined by Stéphane Vincent. He is a citizen journalist covering the aftermath of the earthquake for BBC in a piece headlined "The Forgotten Villages Cut Off from Help." We welcome you both to Democracy Now! Dr. Chery, let's begin with you. Describe what is happening. You are right near the epicenter. You are a general practitioner in Les Cayes, so hard hit by COVID. You've been dealing with COVID patients. Now you've got the earthquake.
Good morning, ma'am. So yes, I am Dr. Chery Marie Anne-Lise. Where I am now, I am in Les Cayes. So where the earthquake is happening, I was inside my house with my baby running out and be hit by my car against a wall and fell down in the ground. And I have injury. So I can see all my neighbors has panic. Everyone has panic, is panicking. So this morning, as you can see, at 6:53 a.m. we had another replica. So all the people who were trying to sleep inside the house, they run out and been panicking. So you can ask the question again, please.
Just tell us, what are the greatest needs and the injuries that you're treating? Are you getting enough medical supplies? And do you have enough doctors and medical staff to help with those who are injured?
So we are a lack of doctors. So in Les Cayes, especially, we have not enough doctors to care of the patients in pediatry area and back in the back place of the country. So we need doctor. People need food. They need water. They need clothes. Okay. So many of them have injury, have infection wounds. So they don't have anyone to care of them where they are. So I can even see people trying to drink the rainwater during the earthquake.
And your family, can you describe what's happened to your own family as you try to help others?
Okay, so my own family, they are living at Camp-Périn, so where my grandma's house fell down completely, and I have most of them lost their house. Me and my little baby has injured because of we were running out and hit by my car against the wall and fall in the ground, have injury. So they are in needed. They don't have house to sleep. They are out. They don't have tent to at night. And when it's raining, they don't have nowhere instead to stay where they are during the wind. Okay, so they need food, they need clothes, they need medication in the hospital too.
Finally, are you concerned about other infections breaking out? And is COVID getting worse, the people you were treating before the earthquake, because of the vulnerability of the population right now?
You know, Haitian people go to see doctor when they are dying, okay? So they try to make some tea, okay, to feel better at home. So if they feel they are dying, they go to see doctor. So where I am working now at sanatorium in Les Cayes with COVID-19 patients, I don't really receive a lot of people to be inside the hospital, hospitalized. I can say that to be hospitalized, okay? So I find people who is sick, and I gave them medication and advice to go at their house, okay, in quarantine. So unfortunately, I can say fortunately, I don't receive a lot of COVID-19 patients.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Chery Marie Anne-Lise, for joining us, general practitioner in Les Cayes, which is right near the epicenter of the earthquake. We're going to go now to Port-au-Prince, where we're joined by the Haitian citizen journalist Stéphane Vincent. You co-wrote a piece for the BBC headlined "The Forgotten Villages Cut Off from Help." You have made your way from the epicenter to the capital, Port-au-Prince, Stéphane. Can you describe what you've been seeing?
Good morning, Amy. Thank you for having me here. I've been back in Port-au-Prince for the past 48 hours. We went to Les Cayes. I, along the BBC News team, on Monday, we flew because at first it wasn't safe to drive to Les Cayes, which is Les Cayes is about a 3-hour drive from the capital of Port-au-Prince. So we hopped on a flight for about 30 minutes to get to the epicenter of the earthquake. And upon arrival, it was disastrous to see, especially for me, having survived the 2010 earthquake. It sort of brought back all the emotional and mental sequels to sort of live that again. I mean, there are certain disasters you go through. You think you'd go through them once in a lifetime. So to relive that again was very heart-wrenching. And so far, we've gone around the south, whether it be the main city of Les Cayes or the other communes around the department. And the main observation has been that, as opposed to what many people may believe, the city of Les Cayes hasn't been as destroyed as we may think. I mean, we would say that out of 7 houses, you'd find one that's been destroyed. However, the major impact is in the what we call the communal sections, which are small villages and towns in the outskirts of Les Cayes, where you would find a good 96% rate of destruction. You literally drive around villages for 10, 20, 30 minutes, and you'd only see collapsed homes, churches, schools, different types of buildings. And the people right now, the people in the city of Les Cayes or the communes have mostly been receiving help. However, the help gets stuck in these main areas, and the people most affected in the outskirts of the south haven't been receiving help. And this has been the case for several reasons. First of all, the people that come to give help, they come based on what they get from the news. And so they rush to the main towns and the main cities to help. And secondly, we've had Hurricane Grace, and because of the hurricane, rivers came down and cut off some of these villages from the main towns and the main cities. So cars, aid hasn't been able to be driven to these people. You had cases where at first there would be a group of young people who are able to swim. They would carry over the water a little bit of aid, but that hasn't been sufficient.
You quote someone in your piece, Stéphane, saying, "Do I have to scream to get the government's attention, or are we being left to die?" if you can also compare this to what happened, I mean, the earthquake obviously was far worse in 2010. You're a survivor of that earthquake. I remember covering President Clinton in Port-au-Prince as he said, the most important things to me now are my daughter's wedding and the recovery of Haiti. And yet what actually happened now is you have many people who are still suffering from that earthquake dealing with this.
Yes, that statement that I quoted in the BBC piece was a statement made by this lady called Margaret Maurice in this area called Marceline. So Marceline is a little village out in Campione where the previous doctor we spoke to, her family is from. And Marceline has been one of the hardest hit areas of the South. And throughout the entire greater South, whether it be in the NIPS department in the South, or even in the Guianas department, the theme is recurrent. The people have been feeling left out and abandoned by government. I remember the following day after the passing of Hurricane Grace, we went to visit a camp in Les Cayes, L'Île de Gabion, and you had these people that were telling us that they spent the night sleeping, standing up because it was raining. They had heavy winds, and they felt as though they've been left by the government. And one interesting thing that happened is that we can make this contrast. The government has decided to centralize aid to avoid what happened in 2010, to ensure an equitable distribution of aid. But on the other hand, the population that's on the ground suffering, they're saying, no, we don't want help to go through government because we don't want them to take the aid and do whatever they want with it, give it to their own people. We want the organizations that are helping to come and give us the aid directly. That's one thing. And the second observation
we have 20
was
seconds, Stefan.
Yes, in contrast to 2010, there has been little international presence. Haitians have really been getting help from other local organizations. It's mostly been a thing where brothers and sisters are helping each other so far. So the focus needs to be put on the outskirts of the South Department